Alright guys, so Piggy Intercity is officially out, and in this video,
see, this is the brand new Piggy Intercity.
Has given out a lot more info about the new NPCs and how they will work.
So by now you guys should have already heard about the news of Piggy Intercity, as well as seeing all the new leaks and teasers. And honestly, I can't wait. I'm very excited for this game to fully come out. It has a lot of potential for not only the player count, but for the franchise and the community as a whole. This is the most hyped Piggy game to ever be announced. Literally everyone has been waiting for this game to come out. And since it's taking place 10 years after the hidden ending, it means we're gonna get a new cast of characters and hopefully returning characters we all know and love. But there's one specific cast of characters, well actually two, that is so important to the franchise. There is no doubt they're gonna be a massive part of Intercity. Now, who am I talking about? The Capital? Maybe even the Insolence? Well, I'm actually talking about both of them. You see, I have a theory that the Capital could possibly be the Insolence, or could have some connections to it. Now, this is gonna be a 3-part theory, so I recommend to watch the full video to get a full understanding. But anyways, enjoy the video. If we go over to the Capital's Twitter account, we can see pictures of the Capital interacting with their citizens or other survivors, basically telling them to cooperate under their rules. But that was old 2021 news. It's not gonna mean anything in the big 2025, right? Well, I took a look at his old Twitter account, and then I saw this post right here, which came out back in 2023, and apparently no one's talking about it, or I'm just as slow. Now, the picture is pretty bright, but luckily someone already toned it down a bit to get a better image, and we can clearly see that there's a massive fire happening, and it's burning what seems to look like a castle of some sort. And believe it or not, we actually seen this castle before in the Hunt First Edition. The first part of the chapter is a castle, possibly the same castle from this image. What's crazier is what the post says, specifically the first couple of lines, which says, "We have taken the necessary steps to ensure our city remains safe and nothing like this ever happens again." Again? What do you mean again? Last time I checked, this castle was possibly hundreds of years old, and I don't think a possibly corrupted government would give a shit about an old castle unless they probably own it or perhaps lived in it. And we actually know who lived in that castle, and that person is none other than Teal, being the son of the king of the castle. We have seen multiple things that shows that the Teal could have lived in the castle, so we're just gonna go with it. But how does he have anything to do with the Capital? He's part of the Insolence. He wouldn't help survivors. Well, let's take a close look at this post right here. I'm sure almost all of you guys have seen this back in 2022, and a lot of people are thinking the workers of the Capital are just discovering the Eye of Insolence, but pay close attention to this picture. Besides from this one, the other three are just standing there. It's almost like instead of discovering it, it's most likely they're listening to it, like they're taking order. Also, if you take a close look at the surroundings, you can see that there was possibly some sort of fight here, almost like a war, which we'll get back into later. Let's look at Teal and how I think he's the one in control of the Capital, since throughout the storyline it's crystal clear that he is the antagonist of the story. As a matter of fact, the player killed him back in the hidden ending, or did they? You see, in the hidden ending, we get one final scene which can most likely predict Teal being alive. The iconic scene that left everyone with so many questions like, is the player dead? Is Teal alive? Now, here's how I view this. For starters, I don't think the player is dead, since that would be a horrible ending for the game, but I think this scene is a final message to Teal, to the player, telling them, fuck you, I'm still alive. For now, let's look at Teal. Not this one, the other one. Pay close attention to Teal's model. Notice what he has in his head. A top hat, covered with 10 eyes of insolence. Trust me, I counted. And if we go over to the wiki, there are a total of 14 canon characters that are confirmed to be a part of the Insolence in the storyline. But we can eliminate 4 of them since they're just hallucinations or creations of the Insolence. And the remaining 10 are infected or survivors who have joined the Insolence when they were in a tough situation. 10 members, 10 eyes of Insolence. The player may have kicked Teal out of their head so he can stop bothering them, but it doesn't mean he's officially dead, since he still has control over the remaining members, so it's possible he's still living in their head, fully in control of their bodies. Hey, Editor Jake here. I forgot to mention Glenn and possibly other characters, but I'm not 100% sure if they're considered canon, so they don't count for now. But anyways, back to the video. So Teal could possibly still be alive, but how does this have to do with anything about the Capital? And what do I mean by a war or battle happening in Intercity? Well, loyal viewer, I'm glad you asked. You see, I believe that Teal, or the Capital, is fighting the Insolence, specifically Mr. Stitchy. You see, in an earlier theory, I said that Mr. Stitchy hates Teal because Teal was grown in power and becoming similar to Mr. Stitchy, which Mr. Stitchy did not like. And when Teal was defeated by the player, it's possible that Mr. Stitchy heard about this and thinks Teal is weak, since he got defeated by a regular human being. So it's possible Mr. Stitchy calls war on Tio to take back the remaining power of the Insolence and hopes it will make him the strongest member of the Insolence once again, leading us to part 2 of this theory. Now let's talk about Mr. Stitchy. So we all know that Mr. Stitchy has something to do with the Insolence, and he's confirmed to be canon to the game because there's pictures of him and a plushie of Mr. Stitchy in the Hunt chapter. Even though the events of the chapter is considered non-canon, the pictures and the plushie of him are confirmed to be canon, meaning Mr. Stitchy is officially canon to the storyline. And no, I don't care what the dumb angels think. But anyways, how does Mr. Stitchy have anything to do with the capital? Well, he doesn't directly connect with the capital for now, but he does connect with this image. And a very important question, what happened to all the humans? Throughout the Piggy storyline, we have not been introduced to a single human being besides the player. The only time we know humans do exist is in the Hunt chapter, which shows pictures of Tio when he was younger, which confirms that he was once a human as well, also showing us Mr. Stitchy recruiting him to join the Insolence. But we already know how that friendship ends. But something else happens. You see, in the Distraction chapter, Tio tells Sissy that he made a friend, that friend being Mr. Stitchy. But Mr. Stitchy didn't like the fact that Tio was getting stronger just like him, and Mr. Stitchy made it very clear that he did not like this, not one bit. During this time, Tio was missing, and his father, which is the king, sent multiple search parties to go find Tio, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a massive fire happens. A fire so big it burns the kingdom to ruins, or as the king states, the land has been cursed, and people are suffering. Most of them left, but the king refuses. He's still waiting for Tio to return, but unfortunately, he never does. This was all Mr. Stitchy's doing. He took away Tio's kingdom, he took away his home, to show Tio who's really in charge of the Insolence. But Tio did not let this slide, because keep in mind, he's getting just as strong as Mr. Stitchy, so it's possible they fought after this event took place. But unfortunately, Tio got banished and ended up in a place when he was first introduced to Sissy. Fun fact, this capital city that's in ruins could also possibly be the South Ruins, since there's multiple theories talking about this location. But anyways, while back in the kingdom, people are looking for shelter. Some even went back to the ruins of the capital city in hopes to find something to help them survive. And this is the time that Mr. Stitchy comes in for round 2. Since the kingdom is now in ruins, people are desperate for a solution. So Mr. Stitchy offers to help the people, but in return, they have to join the Insolence, just how Tio offered multiple characters throughout the chapters. So what am I trying to say here? I'm saying the humans are the Insolence. That could explain why the only time humans are known to exist in the Piggy universe is during the Hunt chapter, because it takes place hundreds of years ago before the events of the first main chapters. But wait, if Tio only managed to get 10 members, how the f did Mr. Stitchy manage to recruit almost the entire human population? Well, I can actually answer this question. It's because of the conditions and the environment during these times. During book 1, the researchers or some survivors had access to advanced technology and medicine, while in Mr. Stitchy's time, there was no technology. There was no advanced medicine, making people more desperate for a solution. And since Mr. Stitchy has more experience in recruiting people, since he did convince Tio to join the Insolence, so it makes sense for Mr. Stitchy to recruit a lot, and I mean a lot of humans, which is something that Tio desperately needs. You see, I believe there's something about Tio that needs to be addressed, and that is, what is his true intentions? Why is he recruiting all the characters we all know and love? Is he doing it for power? Is he trying to be the hero and save the characters from joining the Insolence? Or is he preparing for an oncoming event, possibly a war? Well, actually, it's all 3 of them. You see, there's a reason why I believe the capital could be the Insolence, and it isn't just to help survivors or to help Tio gain power, but it's also helping prepare his side of the Insolence to fight a war against Mr. Stitchy's side of the Insolence, to see who truly is the strongest member of the Insolence, leading us to the last part of our theory, parte 3. Now, if you weren't aware yet, Minnie2 confirmed in an interview that Piggy Intercity takes place 10 years after the main Piggy game, which leads to a very good question: what happened during the 10-year time skip? Oh, nothing, just a great old civil war between the capital and the Insolence. And during this time, Tio actually started to lock in gaining power. And for many years now, when Tio was first introduced to the game, almost everyone thought that Tio was the most powerful being in the storyline. But since we now know that Mr. Stitchy recruited almost the entire human population, and if you actually go back and play the chapters in the main Piggy game, you start to notice that Teal actually sucks ass at his job. You see, the infection for both Book 1 and Book 2 adds up to almost a year at this point, and Teal only managed to recruit 10 members. As a matter of fact, Teal actually failed to recruit multiple members throughout the game. He failed to get Zizzy since she was taken away. He also failed to get Pony, who kept denying his offers. He got defeated by the player, who was a regular human being. He even failed to recruit Georgie. Now, I already made a theory on how he was torturing Georgie, making him relive the night he lost his family every single day for a month and a half. And Georgie didn't join the insolence or gone insane from replaying the same trauma in his dreams every single day. Teal has failed time and time again, and it's only after the hidden ending is where he finally realizes he has to switch things up, which is how the capital is formed with the remaining 10 members. Just think about it. No one is gonna trust someone with an orange eye who drags people into the void to make deals for protection, but instead they would trust someone of more upper power, legally, someone like the government, and that's exactly what the capital is, or what it seems to be. Also, one thing I want to address before we move any further is, what do I mean by Teal wanting to be a hero? Well, just think about it. Mr. Stitchy was basically Teal's only friend, confirmed by this note and these drawings. We already know that he betrayed Teal, and obviously Teal would want revenge, which is why he is looking for recruits, since he wants to get back on Mr. Stitchy for destroying his home, and which is why he's desperately trying to get people to join him, because Teal doesn't want anyone else to go for the same thing he went through, even if that means he has to force them to join by ruining their lives and putting them in a very depressing state where they're desperate for a solution. So basically, he stuck at being a hero and chose to become an antagonist, which is why the capital is here to help. You see, if Teal disguises his side of the insolence as a capital or organization that helps survivors throughout the infection, those survivors are going to have more trust in the capital, so they are most likely to cooperate in order for their own survival, which leads us to this post right here, which says, a citizen acknowledges that they have been selected to participate in the capital's project of it securing the future, and a proper citizen demonstrates their gratitude for their exemplary job in the workplace and will be compensated accordingly. But wait, wouldn't a proper citizen be most likely to be selected for a government project more than a regular citizen who's probably not doing as much work as a proper citizen should? And what is this project about? Well, knowing that the capital could possibly be the insolence, this project is most likely the citizens are being forced to join the insolence in order for Teal to gain power. So the capital is getting rid of citizens that aren't as useful as the proper citizens. Also, one thing I forgot to mention is what happens to Teal after people join the insolence and accept his deals. Well, remember Teal's true form with the 10 eyes I showed earlier? I have a mini theory that after people accept Teal's deals and join the insolence, Teal not only gets stronger by power, but also physically becomes bigger, meaning the more citizens that are being forced to join the insolence, the more stronger and bigger Teal gets. And by looking at these pictures, it looks like a war is in progress during the 10-year time skip, which leads to the only question that is left: who will win the war, Mr. Stitchy or Teal? And ladies and gentlemen, I would like to present to you the answer to the question. Drumroll, please. Mr. Stitchy. And I'm not just saying that because this could officially introduce him to the storyline, but because he actually already won before the war even started, ever since he destroyed the capital city of Teal's kingdom. But even though he destroyed a part of the kingdom, that doesn't mean he would manage to convince all the people who once lived there, but that also doesn't mean he wouldn't do it again. If the events of the fire took place hundreds or thousands of years ago, that would have meant that Mr. Stitchy has been constantly ruining people's lives for many centuries in order to convince people to join the insolence. And he's been doing this for so long to the point where the human population has almost disappeared. I say almost because we the player are human. And if Teal gets physically bigger and stronger every time someone accepts his deal and joins the insolence, that would mean that Mr. Stitchy could possibly be hundreds, maybe even thousands times stronger than Teal. So no matter how many people the capital tricks into joining the insolence, Teal has already lost since the very beginning. He might have a chance in weakening Mr. Stitchy, but not to fully defeat him. But anyways, this war marks the end of the capital, since the wall that has been there to protect them has been broken into, and more leaks have come out, which shows more ruined areas where multiple battles would have taken place, and this also marks the end of the main Piggy game and a new beginning in Piggy Intercity. And since it looks like Piggy Intercity is going to be more of an RPG or open world game where the decisions you make have consequences, and there's going to be boss fights as well as armor, weapons, and resources to upgrade them, it looks like it's up to the survivors to finish off the insolence once and for all. So in conclusion, the capital is the insolence, fighting a war against the original group of insolence, as well as what we will be seeing in Piggy Intercity, and finally revealing Teal's true intentions in causing the infection. But unfortunately for Teal, even in his final chance to gain power to defeat Mr. Stitchy, he dies and still remains having a skill issue. But anyway, anyways, I'm tired. This video took way too long to make, and I'm really hoping it was worth making this. But anyways, comment down below what you guys think of this, and subscribe for more Piggy theory. And like always, have a great day.